Can you hear me?
கேக்குது குருஜி. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So what was the discussion in the WhatsApp group?
அது வந்து பிரிசனர்ஸ்க்கு வந்து டொனேஷன் பண்ற மாதிரி சொல்லிட்டு இருந்தாரு. நான் வந்து கிரைட்டீரியா என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டேன். So the discussion is about finding the criteria on who should help.
Who should be helped?
Yeah. So my biggest worry was that, we let somebody out and then they go and cause more damage. Then are we really helping them? Are we really helping the society, or are we becoming a mess?
Okay.
Especially like, நான் சொல்றது வந்து violent crimes, like சின்ன petty crimes, it's not a big deal. அவங்களுக்கு நம்ம we can definitely help.
Prahlad, try to speak in English because this will be recorded and uploaded. So
yes. So yeah, Guruji. So I was saying that, if it's a petty crime, maybe they did some small theft or they got punished for some random reason. Definitely helping them out and
helping them out means you're going to bring them out of prison.
Yeah, like bail, like paying for the bail or helping with lawyers, whatever it is.
Okay.
Mostly the topic is on paying for the bail. Okay. And in that cases, I think it's fine. And if somebody is convicted who are not really done the crime, then it's good. Like, for example, in Singapore recently, they killed a kid. They killed a man because I think in 2012, he had 500 grams or 1 kg of,
marijuana.
Some drug. Yeah, marijuana. Yeah.
Okay. So now the question is, I think the right action and the wrong actions, right? Because we have something called framed, you didn't do a fault. Actually, it's a very difficult topic because it's not so easy. I think we should give an opportunity to everyone. We'll ask if there are others who want to speak on it. But before that, I'll tell you a very simple, a story from experience, so that this will be the background.
Sure, Guruji.
Long time back, I consulted for a person where I noticed that there were a lot of loss combinations for this person. Some 12 toes was involved, and you know what 12 toes means is you have to give, you have to donate, right? For example, 9th Lord in the 12th, spend on auspicious activities. Need not be that the person will automatically do it. Sometimes they do it automatically, and sometimes they are asked to do, are forced to do, okay, depending upon situations. So sometimes it will be naturally inclined to give in this birth, but sometimes they may not. And when they don't, it creates a lot of problem because the 9th is Bhagya and the 12th is lost. Bhagya lost. So I've seen riches to rags story with the 9th Lord and the 12th also. But those who are believers of, giving, charity and philanthropic activities, they were all right. They made it, 9th Lord and the 12th. So the point here could be, what is auspicious and what is inauspicious. That will be the main thing. Okay.
That's correct, Guruji. See, I know a person.
We'll ask somebody to help. Okay.
Sure, Guruji.
Let's ask others to talk, or you just continue. I'll come back.
Okay. So who wants to go? You can give your shot. Okay, if not, I will speak as a filler. So I'm not opposed to helping people, like if they are in jail. The only concern is I don't want them to commit similar crimes once they're outside. And mostly those who are in, they are mingling with other criminals. Many times they learn many of the skills. So how do we vet who is the right person, who has not, who is okay to come out and who can come out and cause damage? So that's a tricky question. And I'm pretty sure that there's no right answer.
Okay, Prahlad, let me continue the story.
Sure.
My experience with a client long time back, okay, many years back. It doesn't happen these days. Um, so this was where I saw that he was heading for a loss period, Dasha, Antardasha, something, gathering like almost like a storm building up, because I think it was a combination of Sade Sati and some zero score on in the Ashtaka and then something else like that. So I anticipated some big trouble for the next, I think 40 months, 35 months or something like that. So I told him, you have to start donating. I said, you have to start downloading. You understand? Because if karma wants it, and if it takes, the punishment will be huge. Whereas when you give, it's like paying insurance, where you pay small amounts but get high returns, right? In case something goes wrong. So, but then he looked at me and said, this must have happened 20 years back, I think. So he looked at me and said, Mr. Dhilip, I want to tell you something which perhaps you may not know, that we are not supposed to help anyone. So I looked puzzled, and he said, well, let me explain. Now, if somebody is suffering, what is the reason for it? I said, it's karma. So I said, then he asked me, who created this? I said, the creator. I mean, God lays down. If you create a game, you lay down the rules for the game. If I create a carom board, I will say, this is how you hit, this is how you will be getting points, this is how you will be punished, and so on. So God must have done it. Or whoever is a creator, we call. So he must have set this up. Yeah. So if somebody is suffering, it means it is part of God's plan, right? And you say, no, I want to change that. I'm going to help this guy. I help this guy, and he becomes better, or he becomes happier, and he's not being punished like how he should have been punished. So you're interfering in God's plan or God's rules. So you will become a sinner if you help anyone. So I followed this ideology for a long time, and I've been spreading this to my friends and everybody, not to help anyone. So this is the background of today's discussion. Another side of this is, there is something called the right and wrong. Okay. And Mahabharata and Sri Krishna is all about setting things right. So basically it is about punishing the anti-dharma people, right? Punishing people. So he goes to the extent of saying you can even kill them, right? Who are they? Your guru, kill them. I mean, kill him. Kill everyone. Now we have some kind of differences here, okay? So maybe if you want to contribute points, like which side are we going to take? If you say human being, okay, animal and human beings, there's a big difference, I think. We don't have something called karma for animals. That's what we are told. Okay, we're not very sure about that, but at least we are told. So at least helping animals, I don't think we should have any argument, right? Is it okay? Whatever I'm telling you, whatever I think is fine as far as animals are concerned. So you can raise your hand, and those who want to say something about this can say.
Sir, one point I have here, but according to law, I mean, I am a great fan of judiciary law and principles of law. So there is no one who should be denied to be defended. That is the very first principle of the law.
Okay. Defend. Okay.
There's
I
no
mean-
one who should be denied. Like, let's assume whatever is the crime that any person has committed, till till the crime is proven, like conviction happens, till then the individual is considered accused. And the very biggest point to be noted in a wonderful country, especially like India, where we had a great deal of justice staying as a mark of emblem, is any crime, any criminal, any heinous crimes, like even when the terrorist attacks happened. So he was given a fair amount of trial that was happening. So that there was a sensation where Kasab was like, there's no lawyer who's ready to defend Kasab and all that. But upon, in general, if in a lawyer's or in a judicial perspective, any individual can never be denied going, like being defended in a court of law.
So until proven guilty, right, as far as human beings are
Right.
concerned. But with
Yeah.
animals, we have any confusion? Should we help animals, birds, or anything, any living creature other than human beings? Do we have any argument about that? I think we had, right? What if you save a stray dog and the stray dog bites somebody, right? Yes, VK Verma.
Yeah, but
Puri, that's
even
very,
with
very
Huh?
See, that's not common. And, I've helped really serious strays. See, but when we're talking about dogs, even there, I believe karma will play out. As in, the recent one I posted yesterday, I think it's going to be hard to save him because he's in a wrong spot. He's not coming during the right time. So I'm not able to take him to hospital. So those who can be saved, whether it's humans or animals, I'm pretty sure karma plays a role. And from there, would they do something bad or not? That is not completely in our hands. So in that sense, what VK Varmanji is saying is true. I won't deny that. But why do we want to help a murderer get a bail when we have so many people who need help? Like when 12th house can be medicine, 12th house can be so many other things. Why do we have to help someone? And in India, what is India famous for is that people are not punished. You see a rapist, he gets out, like even the biggest case, he's coming out and he's like scot-free. So that is one of the big negatives in India, right?
Okay. But
Varmanji,
there's always a possibility of false accusation, right? Somebody does the crime and the rich man manages to get someone else inside. VK Varman, why is it that you can't unmute? Is anybody having a problem? Like you can't unmute? Can anyone else test whether...
Yes, I tested Guruji and I could unmute. Can I add to that? I joined a bit late.
Yes, Sri Sami is a very active socialist. So welcome.
Thank you. And so I am not sure what reason the topic is here. Just quickly glanced at WhatsApp.
Yeah, I'll tell you what is the topic: to help or not to help. Okay, so the story goes like this. Long time back, I had this person who came for consultation, and when I spoke about philanthropic activities and charity as a means to reduce the impact of the 12th house problems that is going to come up in the next 40 months or so, he gave me a long lecture saying that you should not help anybody in this world. And that the basis for that was, he says, it is God's plan to punish people. And that's the reason why they are physically, challenged at birth, or they're going through trouble or whatever. The karma is based upon God's rules. And if you interfere with it, obviously God will punish you. So don't help anybody. And he said, I've been following this for my lifetime. And I've also influenced many people saying, don't help a single human being in this world.
That is 100% incorrect.
We know that. So what happened today in WhatsApp group, people were talking about helping. So I just thought, since I had some spare time, I thought, and then I have a conference today, Baba conference. So I'm just maybe, I have some time in between. Only in the evening I am busy. So I thought we could
Thank
do
you.
some discussion on this. Okay. Now over to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. I think the reason we should help people is it's part of the free will. And I believe we have to do the due diligence. Basically, if we trust someone and if we feel they need the help, then we should help them. And if we can help them, we should help them. And a lot of the times here, like, I run a medium-sized charity. We help a lot of people here. Out of that, just like in every way of life, in every place, in every society, there will be a small percentage of people who will misuse the goodwill of people. But that should not prevent us from helping the others, right? And in particular, I'm one of my very good friends is a barrister here, and she spends a lot of her time and money helping women prisoners in prison, and also after they get released from the prison, she helps them. So they have a charity called the Women's Prison Network, and they help those women to find jobs, find homes for them, because a lot of the times once they come out of jail, they lose their family connections and they're too ashamed to go back to the same networks, that they've got to restart everything. So I also support that charity because human tendency, a lot of the time, some people make mistakes on purpose, but a lot of the times mistakes happen. It just happens, like accident happens, and the person could have killed 4 or 5 people, and they could have been in the jail for that. It's not that they got up that morning and said, I'm going to go and kill 4 or 5 people, and went and did the accident. So we have to use our judgment around because obviously we are giving our hard-earned money to help someone, so we've got to use some basic judgment and due diligence. But in whatever case, whether be it animals or plants or humans, we should help them wherever we can.
So the actual topic in discussion in the group was citing your example, Sri Sami, is once these prisoners are released, they could be rapists or murderers or anyone. By helping them set up a life, wouldn't you, what if they go on to commit another crime? In that case, are you not accruing bad karma? Is that
Not
what
at all.
Sai's argument was? That's what Sai's argument was. So
No,
I
no.
was
Why
saying,
would we?
yeah.
We wouldn't
So I was,
acquire anything because
yeah.
we are doing with the information provided in front of us, just like a scientist, with the information provided in front of us, we are making a decision to help. But once they commit a mistake again, then we can use that information to decide. So we actually go through a process called the assessment process of each person we help here. Just like you guys, when you do it in an informal way, probably we do it in a very formal way. So we have a list of questions and we understand what's happening. And so with the set of information you have in front of you, you just make a decision. And obviously we are helping them, giving them an opportunity, hoping for the best, for their best. But if they decide not to make use of the goodwill and make a mistake, then you don't help them. You use your money to help someone else.
Exactly. So that's what I was telling Sai as well. There is no Sai, let me just finish, please. So I was just saying the same. So there is no outcome. We don't know what the outcome is once you release a prisoner. So that's why I quoted an example to Sai saying, we do help animals and or street dogs. And for some reason, God forbid, they end up biting someone or cause an accident of some sort. We cannot say, I helped them out and they caused that and that bad karma is on us. That's not how it works. So
no, and Guruji knows one accident I had with my own pet baby, very serious. It was a small one, but I had to be hospitalized for 10 days. And she is still with me, and things happen. But we always work with the best intentions, with the information provided to us. And if probably that cat that bit me continued to bite everyone else in the house, then I would have got rid of her. It was an accident, so it was understood, and she's my favorite. But so I don't think we should avoid helping people, particularly those people. Everyone else in their family would have ignored them, would not support them, and that is the time when they're so desperate, someone should help them.
Yeah, 100% agreed. See, the whole reason why I started the argument, or rather why I started the topic, was because we need to set the criteria. I'm not against this. Varmanji, I'm not against you. I'm not against this. I'm just saying, let's set the criteria straight. Who are we helping? How are we going to do the assessment? That is what I was asking you. Because
and what is the criteria that you set?
I didn't say any particular criteria.
I wanted you specifically set a criteria in the group.
Here's an example. Let me finish. So if we help somebody, they go out and they go commit a big murder or another crime. How do we 100% know that this is the right person? So that's very difficult to judge, especially in India settings, because I know people lie through their teeth all the time. Because I'm on the receiving end of all these lies that people say. So it's very hard to judge, especially serious crime. So
but this is God is testing your patience by putting you in these circumstances to see how you are reacting to these kind of situations. Because there are people react to different people react differently. So helping people is not at all easy. It's a very, very difficult job. It looks, people just assume, oh, you're just giving money, you're just helping. No, it isn't. It is really complicated. So it is, you're being tested to see how you're reacting given the set of circumstances around the people or animals that come to you for help. So assessments, yes, once they've made a mistake, we should help them. If they're genuine, obviously you talk to them and see the circumstances around why and how they committed the crime, and is there any opportunity for them? Are they looking to change their lives, or and only then you help them. And also sometimes, particularly I work with different people, and particularly with the people with addiction and certain other issues, it is out of their control. It's not that they're doing it on purpose. And that is where loved ones, and sometimes these people lose all their loved ones. I know of a friend who is in a very, very, very senior role, but has addiction, and everyone in their life just leave them because addiction is what is affecting them, But similarly, what I'm saying is, we are being tested when we are in the charity space. We are being tested with people who come to us with stories and lies, and with experience, you will be able to pick it up pretty fast. And a little bit of patience is needed to see if they can reform. And particularly people with the 12th house Saturn, Guruji says it's good to help people in these circumstances. So we should work out a good assessment criteria and see if we can help. Because imagine giving a chance to someone who would never have gotten a chance. Everyone in their family, friends, everyone would just ignore them. Helping those kind of people would be really good if we can.
See, the background is that when it comes to we have to have a very clear-cut, demarcation, a big difference between other creatures and human beings. Okay, so this story is very popular, right? The sadhu and the scorpion, right? So some of you might have already heard the story. So this is a sadhu who is bathing in the river, and then he notices a scorpion struggling, right? And scorpions can't handle this, and it might drown. So obviously the sadhu reacts, and he wants to save. So he takes it onto his hand and then tries to take it to the shore. I don't know, maybe there was a rock next to him or something. But as soon as he did that, the scorpion stung him. Okay, stung his finger. Okay. So what do? By instinct, you throw it off. Like something bites you, by instinct, natural reflex action, you just shake it off. And so the scorpion finds itself again back into water. And again, it starts to struggle, and this goes on. And then I think someone else is, maybe some common man is standing there, and he says, Swamiji, why are you doing this again and again? Okay, this goes on, right? It bites, and then he shakes, he tries to save, and this goes many times. So anyone knows what was the reply the saint gave?
I think I am doing my job and the scorpion is doing its job.
Not its job. It's not exactly a job.
Natural instinct.
Natural,
Yeah.
it is designed. It is designed for that. Okay, by nature, it stings. But the sadhu says, this is not my nature. My nature is quite different. Okay, so he says, my dharma is to help anyone, any creature, either it's human being or animal. That is my nature. So I can't let the scorpion spoil that in me. I will do, because this is my nature, and the scorpion does its nature, but it's not doing it on an intention. So sometimes there is a problem when we say, if you look at high level of crimes, you often hear from the judge that the person is not all right. See, this is a big problem. When you say he has done it, they say he's sick. He doesn't know what he's doing. Something else is happening. Now that comes and, it's a totally different domain. If somebody is sick, okay, but we don't know at what point do we call this madness or sickness or see, for example, I've quoted this often in class also. If somebody does something, maybe he tries and he walks in front of the car, he's swaying a little bit, and my driver will say he's drunk, so let's pardon him. Okay, obviously I'm not going to react, but by nature the driver always says, sir, he's drunk, he can't understand what he's doing. So we have some problems like this. So I think in movies also they'll show that there is some problem that the person is going through, and that's the reason why he is behaving in a certain way. And do you think he needs help, or should you straight away punish him? So these are the tough questions, actually. Not easy, right? It's not easy to answer such questions, because we don't know, like, for example, like the stray dog example, what if it bites? But then it's not because you saved. The stray dogs once in a while may do it, but I think it's usually sometimes added by the carelessness of the person, as though we do not know how to handle even that. Okay, but it's not that the stray dog that bites you is the one that you saved, right? So there is always a possibility. In that case, how do you explain a robber like Valmiki is given advice, a mantra by the Saptarishis? So Saptarishis can say, no, you're destined to be a robber. That's God's plan, and so on. We have lots of things. Like, for example, in Mahabharata, Sri Krishna can say, you get punished because you gambled. You are so stupid. You gambled, and you made sure that I will not also interfere with that, because you prayed, saying, please don't participate, don't come inside this. I'm going to gamble, because that was your, that was an addiction. And so what? If they take away your land, you'll be punished because you did something wrong. So it's not easy. That's why we are having this discussion. But Sri Krishna takes a stance, right? There is adharma and dharma. Though, anyway, for whatever gambling was done by Yudhishthira, it looks like he was punished anyway, right? So, anybody wants to contribute extra points?
Sir, I want to talk. This is Rahul. Am I audible?
Rahul, yes, you are perfectly audible, but maybe you'll have to keep the mic at a proper distance so that it's not muffled up.
Yeah, sorry, I'm connected to earpods, but
Earpods,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. So I must admit that I'm a little bit confused, but I've been thinking since this discussion started. I think if there is a possibility, the court have done their job to convict somebody, and with all the all the evidences and all that. If we are trying to bail people who are already convicted, then
Convicted.
I think that is not correct.
But convicted people will not be allowed, right?
Yes, I think the whole thing has been misunderstood. We posted that the bail is not for people who have been convicted.
Yeah, convicted anyway. The law won't admit them.
Admit them, yes. I think so. What we were discussing is someone who has just finished his term, let's say 7 years or 10 years. What the Indian court says actually is you will have to pay an additional fine apart from the sentence which you have. So the question here is, if they don't pay that fine, they have to spend an extra 1 or 2 years instead of paying if they can't afford that fine. So the question here is, they have served their sentence of 14 years. So should you help them out by paying that fine, or you don't? Because then the question arised by the member was that if you pay him out by paying the fine, and if he is truly reformed, in spite of him being truly reformed, what are the chances if he goes out and he commits another murder? So will we be accruing that karma or not?
Varman, can we ask another question here? Even if you don't help, does that happen?
Exactly. It might or may not happen.
Yeah, it might or may not happen, right?
Yes, exactly.
So it is not because you helped. And they say there could be transformation in a person if you help them. In fact, it's the other way around. For example, there was a driver and he wanted a job, but somebody else came and told me, don't keep that guy because he's been to jail. Okay. Then I said, if nobody gives him a job, what happens?
Exactly.
He will go back to jail because he will do something else. Okay. So I said, I'll keep him. But I failed because he came to my office several times drunk. And finally, I had to, remove him from the job, all that. That is a different point. But at that point in time, he said, sir, nobody gave me a job because they found out my background. And I was also not very confident. And finally, you gave me, you're like this, that, he said. But I said, see, you got to do certain small corrections. Otherwise, it's going to. Unfortunately, in Sade Sati, he passed away in an accident. Okay, because he was drunk and he passed away in Pondicherry, which is a P word, right? Pondicherry.
Yes. Yeah.
So this finally happened. But I was like the scorpion story. We always can be still kind and hope for the best. It's not that, but I think some of us got this confused. You think there is something called non-bailable, situation, offense. Yeah. So you cannot, no matter what you do, you cannot bring out a person where it has been for sure. The judicial system has taken care of that. So what Varman is saying is, he's finished his sentence. Now he's supposed to go scot-free. And now let's say he's not having the money to come out. I think.
No, that is because, Guruji, the judges always sentence apart from the 14-year sentence, you will have to pay a fine amount of 1 lakh or 50,000 or whatever. Yeah. So if you cannot pay that 50,000, then you'll have to stay back and earn for the government. I think there's some type of scheme, but they'll have to stay back instead of, it's either imprisonment or fine. So, the question is,
we should help them because even after Pandavas went back to forest for a long time because whatever they gambled, I think that's what Sir said. Sir implied saying they have finished their sentence, and now even God helped them since they were on the right side. I think it is up to us also that we should help them by bailing them out.
Rahul, the point
they
is,
have finished their sentence.
the point is, Rahul, that the punishment for the gambling has been separately experienced by Yudhishthira and the gang, right? They went through how many years? I think 12 years exile, which is equal to, for kings of that stature, it would be like imprisonment, right? So they've finished it. But then the other side, that they are now finished the sentence. Now they are eligible to get back their lost kingdom. So Krishna says, I am with you, right? And even there, he fights a fair game, right? He fights a fair war because he says, he promises the Kauravas because he doesn't want to be on one side, which is also a very important fact about God, that God is universal and God is always on both sides. So he says, you take my army, right? I don't know if all of you know this. He gave his entire army to the Kauravas. Is that right or wrong?
Kauravas, yeah.
Right?
Correct.
So that is called neutral stance of God. So when you say, I mean, astrology remedies like Parashari remedies are usually prayer and giving away. So obviously giving cannot be a sin, right? If that's what, because most of the time, where does he predict it? Where all the problems are? In 6, 8 and 12. So not giving, not sharing, these are the main sources of our sin. And the opposite is that, you see now in Tamil Nadu politics, a lot of people are getting into trouble because they grabbed money as much as they could. And now it is problem, right? So we know that there is a kind of a punishment if you take, and opposite of that is to give, right? So giving always is definitely a virtue.
So,
okay.
Guruji.
Hello.
Yes, one minute. Yeah. Somebody else is wanting to talk. Anjali, I think.
Yes, Guruji, namaste. I'm Anjali and I have recently joined
Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon and in fact the batch.
Okay, can you be a little closer to the mic? I think you can improve the audio.
Yeah, so am I audible?
You're audible, but it is a little feeble.
Okay, just a second.
But I think we can hear, right?
Okay, so yeah. Guruji, I was listening to all the discussions which were happening, so I thought I'll also make one here.
Yeah, please.
So, yeah. So here we are discussing if somebody has, completed the tenure in the jail. Now is the time to, go back home, and then he has to fill a fine so that he can the extension period is not there. In that scenario, we should help or not, right? This is the question.
Correct.
So my take on this is, for example, that prisoner is aware that, about the situation. If I have to go out, I have to, and if I don't want extension, I need to have this much amount. And of course, the facilities must be given to him inside to earn that much amount, right?
Okay.
Because I think internally they are doing a lot of activities by which they are accumulating money also. Right? If somebody is in the prison, they do some daily activity to earn money. Okay. So that the person knows that, if I have to go out, I have to have this much amount if I want to move out freely. But I don't know why. Maybe there is, some problem with his efforts or something that he could not arrange that money. And now he's again stuck. He can't go out.
Okay,
right?
Correct.
So my point is, if you have to help yourself first, it means if you are aware that if I have to go out and still you are not helping because you are thinking that, somebody will come and help me. What is the point of, doing the hard work? So I think in that scenario, if somebody wants to help, so that person has to see why he was not able to accumulate the amount. What was the reason? If it is a genuine reason, for example, he was ill and his health was not bad, good, then I think that is the valid reason, and we should help. And if he did not do the activity properly, he was kind of lazy, and he just let it go, and he was enjoying inside. So in that scenario, I think that point we can take while making the decision of helping somebody.
Yeah.
That is my take.
Okay. I think some people did talk about it, right? You have to use your diligence. That has been stated. Very good. Nice points. So,
Guruji, so the wider discussion is like, I said, I said that suppose you let somebody out and they commit a big crime, it will backfire on you. And so that was the spark that happened.
But Prahlad, the problem is, even without your help, that could have happened, right? So with the help, because of your kindness, remember Shakespeare said, the quality of mercy is twice blessed, blesseth him that gives and him that takes. Because when you are kind to people, there is a transformation in that person. When you're unkind and nobody's helping, obviously, it can actually get worse. How many of you are okay with this last point I mentioned just now?
Yes, we are okay. Absolutely fine.
Correct? There is a chance for transformation. There's always a chance for transformation. Look at the story of the Androcles and the lion. Okay? The lion is injured. There's a big thorn deep into its paw, and it is writhing in pain. And then this guy, Androcles, goes near. This is a Greek story, I think. And so normally, what is the lion supposed to do? It's supposed to do certain things. But when he pulls out the thorn, the lion just goes away, not hurting the man. But this guy is a slave, and they find him out, and they arrest him, and they put him into the what is that? Yeah, they have to fight it out, right? In the middle, like a Colosseum of Rome type something. And he's right in the middle, and they left, they let out a lion to, so that they just want to watch the fun, because those days there was no movies. So what do people do for pastime? Rich people. So they used to let these things happen, and he's standing there, and he's supposed to fight the lion without any weapon, because he's a slave who tried to escape. And the lion hasn't been fed for a long time. So it is very hungry, right? And so it runs, and, it's a fearsome lion, emerges out of the wherever. And then it runs towards the man, Androcles. But as it comes very close, everybody is waiting for action. Something else happens. The lion suddenly stops and then starts licking his feet. So the king, who is the main spectator, is confused. He thinks this is something divine going on here. He doesn't know the background, the kindness that Androcles, showered upon the lion. That story he doesn't know. But the man remembers, oh, this is the same lion I say, where I removed the thorn from its paw. And the lion remembers it. So there's always a chance that when you help somebody, there's a chance for transformation. It saves more lives. That is a possibility. But you're quoting an example where whatever you saved, is hurting the society and so on. It is possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but not all the time. Or at least, what else can we do? Okay.
But Guru, can I ask, it is possible that this is part of our karma, even if it is going to backfire on us, then it is meant to happen.
Yeah, one can never say that. But no, the question is there a backfiring? So I think...
Yeah, so even if, I'm saying even if it backfires, then it is meant to happen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying, if it backfires, the donor, the one who gave, cannot incur bad sin. I'm sure about that, because there's no logic to that. Okay. Because I know from the Buddha that it is always intention that causes karma. It seems it's not the action; it is the intention. So what is your intention? What is the intention of the scorpion when it keeps biting the sadhu? No intention.
Guruji, so I'll give an example.
Yeah.
The person who has committed, you will let him out, he commits a crime. Okay. That crime, whatever he did, we will not, get directly, we will not be directly affected.
Exactly.
Okay?
We are not responsible. We are not.
But the persons who are affected by him, they are going to say who gave him bail, who let this man out, and they're going to curse the people who let him out. And definitely that karma is going to fire back, is what I'm saying.
No. It's not possible, Prahlad, because you please do not think that curses work. Okay, curses don't work. Curses does not work because it is redundant. Redentary. Okay, so if I kill a person, let's say that person's mother will curse me, and then can only say that the curse of that mother only sent me to jail. No, the action itself sends me to jail. The curse is just incidental. It's just incidental. There's nothing like a curse. You think I can curse a saint and make something happen to him? No, impossible. Nobody can do that.
That's correct.
Correct. So we have to use common sense here. What is a curse? A curse is just a, what do you call that in some terms? Redundant. Is that correct? Is that word correct? What I'm using?
Yes.
It's just an additional thing. You are just changing the words, and then they're saying, "Oh, what will happen? Those people will curse." No,
Guruji, it's not just the curse. It's rather the impact that is created by us aiding the man.
No, Prahlad, that part will take care of itself. Whereas the kindness that I showered upon him, that will have its own effect. That is, with respect to me, like in the story of the scorpion and the sadhu is saying, I will not do anything that goes against my good karma, right? Against my punya. So I'll keep saving the scorpion. So it is not that something will get transferred to us when we help. Nothing will get transferred to us. Only when you do it willfully, like let's say, oh, this guy is a terrorist and you're keeping him in your house and it is here, he hatches a plan to do something. Surely you're a bad guy. You can't give place to that person. So there is a point when about helping, but this is not that this is not that type, we are talking about something else here. So when
I can understand. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Guru.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. It's always about whose intention is what. Okay. My intention is to be genuinely helping that person. That's all. It's genuine help. I just want to help. I have the natural feeling. I like to help. There's no other thought which is running in your mind. In the same way, you want to help your daughter or son. When let's say the person is sick, is there any other agenda? You simply feel compelled to help. So there's no other intention in you, right? So only when you voluntarily, this guy is a bad guy, and then you help him hide from the police or something, then maybe you incur a sin, because then you know your intention, right? So this is all about intention, Prahlad. It's not about, karma is not like what we think that if somebody curses, because I came up with this idea. If a punyavan, if a person with meritorious birth comes and 1 lakh people try to curse him for some reason, nothing is going to work. Nothing will ever work.
True.
Right?
Sai's concerns are quite... Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, please tell.
Interfering. Yeah. No, Sai's concerns are right in the sense that, we're doing our best to help him. Particularly, he sounds very tired. We know he's doing a lot. And
Correct.
It's just a reflection on the amount of work he's doing. And
Yes.
it is right that he brought up those concerns, and we appreciate it. If in that logic, Sai, you just need to remember sometimes, we can't, sometimes we can't say oh, the mother gave birth to this child, so is that sin going on to the mother? Then all the sins go back to God, so it all goes back to the creator. So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, it is each individual who's doing it consciously,
Yeah,
they are the ones who reap the karma.
exactly. The karma is different from God's plan, because we always have it in every story, right? Even in Christianity, when somebody is doing something else opposite to God, that is not in God's hands. God is not controlling. When you say God Almighty, everything, don't say that He is responsible for everything. He's not responsible for the mistakes we do or the sins we commit. He's only responsible for other side, only the good side, not on the bad side. And so when you say all-knowing, if I know how to add numbers and therefore I'm all-knowing, I will not know the wrong answers, right? What is somebody is writing a question paper? We are giving a question. What is 3 plus 2? When I'll say I know the answer, I'm God, 5. But if you write 7, how can I find out? So it's not like you say that God is all-knowing or anything is all-knowing. All-knowing is only for the right things, only for the right answers, and not for the wrong answers. So if somebody is doing a sin, God is not responsible. You cannot say, God, you only created me. If you didn't create me, I wouldn't have done this bad thing. He'll say, no, it is your doing, right? So we can argue like that.
So Guruji, I need some clarity here on like when you look at Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit gets cursed and he dies in 7 days. And then there's also
why,
story.
Prahlad, why it is not, I'll tell you, the curse is incidental. Okay. What is the reality? He has done something very bad, right? The dead snake, right? He has done something bad. It's not about the curse. It's simply because he did this, he'll be punished. And I don't know, for some reason, it is Rahu Ketu stuff, because it was a snake. And I always, I'm also preparing for the Baba BAVA conference. So this Rahu and Ketu, whatever is a snake, appears in the Parikshit story also. So it is simply because he did that, he is punished. And he is punished by the same element of poison which the Rahu Ketu represents. What is he doing actually, Parikshit? Why did he do that? Anybody wants to attempt? Why did he do what he did?
Because he wanted water. Sadhu was meditating.
You know something. But what was he trying to exhibit?
He was frustrated.
Why is he wild? Why? Frustrated? Why? But you're frustrated, will you do something like that? He's saying, you know who I am. I'm the son of, I'm the descendant of the Pandavas. I'm the king. You are nothing. And you dare not to give me water? You know who I am, that ego, that super ego. Right? So that is being punished here. And obviously, when you do a Rahu matter, there is a possibility of Ketu interference. And he luckily goes towards spirituality. And, he's got limited time. And then in that time, he transforms from the Rahu to the Ketu, which is the moksha. Right? So what's...
Guruji, I have one question regarding this also.
No. I want to complete here that 1 minute, Anjali, I'll get back to you. The question is not about the curse. The curse is just an incidental. Obviously, they will curse. That is a curse. The boy, the son curses, right? But even without his cursing, something else would have happened. But I don't know if there is something called, maybe the rishis can curse and the curse can work. That could be totally something which I'm not aware of. Okay, but in the normal context, I know that Parikshit has to be punished. Right? For that super ego.
Correct, Guruji.
That's all. But anyway, so this is about, if you look at it another way, in that first story I said about the client who gave me a lecture on why you should not donate, it's also kind of a super ego personality, right? You see, I am well off. Okay, I have no problems. Why should I bother about someone else? Which is what all the corrupt politicians are doing. But the law catches up, right? There are so many things I cannot tell you about the current politics in Tamil Nadu. So once you start amassing wealth and so on, there is something which comes after us. It comes as a problem. So surely helping others should be part of our life. That's what I think. But in this, Sai Prahlad's, or even V.K. Varman's, any of these, whatever we are arguing about, debating, is there are two different things. Animals, no intention. But even in that, you are saying, what if it bites? I don't know how to handle that part. Okay. So I came up with the idea about the scorpion and the sadhu story. But whereas a human beings, I compared it with the free will of human beings, which is extremely powerful as a means of transformation. I gave you some other stories, and intention also. Like, why should I help people? There are people in this group so much, I think Kishorji once did a series of case studies, finding the pattern in a philanthropist. So even to be a philanthropist, even to be a type, be a particular type of, you have a mentality to help, most probably comes from a little bit from your karma already. You are, in the beginning itself, you are like this. You are this type. Maybe some people may transform after some time. A guru may enter their life and change it all. Somebody tells them, it is better to live a life like this. You become kinder. And when one good thing leads to other, so when V.K. Varman starts a project, people are contributing, and not only he's helping himself, he's helping the society. Sai Prahlad is doing the same thing. He's helping the society. And then everybody's contributing, right? So let's continue that way. Okay. There can be, it's good that we speak about, such things. So others who are not directly, interacting, please just, you can type it out in the chat. Anybody else wants to say something? I think Anjali wanted to say something, or
Yes,
Sami wanted to, yeah.
Yeah, that course thing which we were discussing. So this is out of curiosity. So, I have heard about.
Can everybody hear Anjali, or is it only me not able to hear?
The audio is not good, Anjali ji. Please come closer to the mic.
Or maybe, is there any way to increase the volume? It's very feeble, right?
Is it better now?
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's on to the next level.
So I'm saying that I have heard about healings. People heal. So they talk about energy, they talk about vibration, right?
No, Anjali ji, sorry, it just reverted back to the old way.
Yeah, it went back to the same. Now it's again, feeble.
But I don't know. This system.
But in between, it became very good. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that there are people who do healing, right? And there we talk about vibration, we talk about frequency, and how.
It's feeble again.
Hello.
Yeah, it's very feeble. Maybe you'll have to type it out.
Okay, I think I'll type.
Yeah.
See, only thing I want to say is that let's have like Sri Swami said, let's have a proper criteria, and let's do maybe a prashna or something. Then we will choose which criminal to help or not. That's the only request I would put as such. Okay, so with that, I'll say one last story. Then I want somebody else to talk, especially Kishore uncle, because he's in, as a Jain, he has more karmic ideas, and I'm pretty sure he can also share some. So yesterday I went to this ABC. ABC is basically where they do the birth control surgeries for dogs. So one of the dogs went missing that I'm taking care of. So I went there to check whether that dog was there, and I didn't find it. But there was another dog which was raised by some family or somebody and was very friendly, but it was shouting at me and was calling me. So then there I was like, really, usually what happens is after the surgery is done, they will not drop the dog at the same place. They will drop it elsewhere. So they may relocate to a different location. And so then the dogs have to fend off and have to again search and find food. Since this guy was very friendly with me, I wanted to know whether I should, the surgery was already done. Should I help the doggy, put it back in its original place, or should I leave it as such? And I didn't know what is the best course of action. So what I did, I put up a prashna. I asked my friend Sridhar sir, and he said that in its current place, it's not that good. Going to a new place for it is better. Then I decided, okay, I'll just leave it to God. Whatever happened, let it happen. So I think there maybe we should use some, since we should use our divine science to find out whether, okay, should we help this person or not? And so if prashna or maybe their own chart says yes, then definitely we should do all in. If not, I think that the discretion and assessment is the only concern for me. As long as that is done, this is a great thing. And like Guruji said, helping somebody, that will definitely change their mind. And that's also one of my reasons why I help people. When I help children, I tell them, you should also be in a position one day, and you should also do such charities. So helping is definitely an awesome thing. I'm 100% agreed. Okay, so that's my main point. Please go ahead.
Usually,
which you're already doing a lot, Guru Sai. So
yeah.
So
Prahlad and VK Varman are working at the at the what they call
ground zero.
The ground level. They're working there, right? So we are just funding.
Very inspirational, both of you. Yeah. They both are very inspirational. I follow both of them very keenly, and I just want to thank Guruji for giving us all this connections and opportunities to be able to participate in this, because when I was helping here, my subconscious was making me feel guilty that, I'm helping in this first world country, but what about my brethren in my third world country? I was trying my best to help, but I didn't have the right connections. So I was seeking it for a very, very long time. And I'm so grateful to have the connections now, and I'm doing my small bit. And leading on to that, I think I read somewhere that basically, when you do charity, you sort of need to do in the area that you live. Is that correct, or can you do charity anywhere?
Usually we won't have much time, or opportunities. It just comes randomly, but when you get an opportunity, you do it. So as and when you get the opportunity, you should do it, because you can't have a very clear-cut, a line saying that I will help here or there. It is usually spontaneous, or maybe because in this large population, we never get a chance to help all the people, right? It is not going to happen. So there is a lot of limitations, but as a larger group, as a concept, if you spread the good word, the good news, and then what happens is this becomes, as it gets larger, you reach out to more people. That's why always, in those days, they used to say, don't build a temple all by yourself. The idea is everybody should participate. Everybody should be, otherwise what will they say? Oh, it is his temple. I mean, there will be a lot of situations where they'll say maybe it is belonging to this caste or this one or that one, and so I'm not going there. So if you bring everybody together, let's all join up together, you can reach out to more people, because ultimately what this is just an idea, a knowledge, a methodology, a concept. So concepts are actually more powerful. Ideas are more powerful than even the action itself, because that will be like a permanent thing that survives, for eternity. And then, act of kindness is usually contagious. You love to do that, right? And as soon as you see somebody, like we copy the bad things also, we can copy the good things, the good work that we do. See, I'll tell you, one guy had fainted near my, house, near the apartment. So, but he was on the opposite side. So I told my driver to turn to this side, and then I went and spoke to him. He said, "I very, pasikid in Tamil, very hungry, very old man. I think maybe 70 plus something, very thin, and he's not able to get up." Okay. But just 10, 15 feet away, there is a roadside small, what do you call that? Eatery. Okay. where a lady is cooking small things, and there's a crowd of auto rickshaw drivers around the place, and they're trying to, they're having their lunch, I think. So just little this side, there is a man without food. Okay. So now, do we say that's his karma? What else to do? Let him be like that? No. So I stopped. I went to the lady who's actually serving the people there. She's selling. So I said, whatever is the best, you just put everything into a plate and give me. And they thought I'm only going to have, just maybe by looking at me, they know I must be a different person. And so they, they say, so first give to sir, like that. But they do not know I'm actually going to give it away. So I have all of it. It actually combines non-veg also. There was some fish. So I took the entire plate and gave it to the man. And but the man shocked me first by asking a question. Have you had your food? Did you have your food? I said, no, I'm going to have. Okay. No, you first have. No, so please you have, I said. And then a little later, suddenly everything changed. There was a guy who got a fresh bottle, what is that, Bisleri water bottle. And then a little later, somebody else is giving extra food, all copying. So the goodness spreads actually. You understand?
Yep.
It starts spreading.
Yep.
And then I saw some 4 boys staring at the food. Then I asked them, do you want? No. We all have our food. But then they also started joining in it. Okay. Then, it's just randomly done. It is not like we have a plan. We have something, agenda. Sometimes it goes with an agenda also. In Rotary, we do it with an agenda. Rotary clubs, we do a lot of things based on plan, how to do it, how to go about it. But these are larger projects where it can impact lots of people. But then I used to say, if one man takes care of one person in this world, how nice the world would be. Just one person.
Yep.
So something like that. You can't really change the world. Like I think just by yourself. These are concepts, right? These are concepts actually. Friendliness. So when you say, what is God? God is like this, God is like that. When we praise God, we are actually asking all of us to become like that. We have to be like God. What is God? What will God do? God is merciful, right? In the Quran, God is the most merciful. So why can't we be having mercy? Or do we say, no, it's your karma. That's why you found yourself at this age on the road. You don't have children to take care of you. You must have done something bad. You need to be punished. Is that the stance we take? Or we say, no, we are not worried about anything else. Right now he is hungry. Let's give him food. That's all. Okay.
That's correct. Yeah. Thank you, Guruji. Thank you for this, opportunity that we've been searching for many years, for giving us this opportunity.
Yes, Guruji. And nobody else, as an astrologer, is doing these kind of things, as far as I know. Like creating this kind of charity group and giving a people a means to help and clear their karmas. It's very, very rare. Yeah. So thank you once again, Guruji. But Kishore ji, if you have anything to speak, I think you should speak now, because we are going to end the session soon.
Yes, so I was looking at it from the teachings of Sri Mahavir, and also the concepts that are propounded in our karmic theory of Jainism. There is something called as, in quantum science, we say something as string theory. Everything is connected.
Correct.
And here in our Jainism, the way of life, it's not a religion, it's a way of life. They say that everybody, there's a text I've sent in chat. It's called Parasparopagraha Jivanam, which means that all souls are supposed to help each other, and by helping each other, they climb the evolutionary ladder to reach moksha. There is no question of ego here, no judgment, nothing. You want to help somebody, it has to be spontaneous, like how Guruji did the act without even thinking about it. It comes from inside innately. No conscious mind is involved. I want to help. I'm not bothered about people. That is that purity in action that counts towards your positive karma. When you do it for the sake of publicity, like how politicians and some media people would like to do, even acts of charity would be like advertised. No, that doesn't work. But when he did it spontaneously, the quantum of that, the actual thing has reached him fully. So in this case, there was an incident which happened in Mahavir's life when a contemporary of his who was like, brimming with ego because he had all these siddhis. He could throw fire at anybody by just his intentions. He could make that person to burn in flames. So he was angry with Mahavir. He said, if you're a true enlightened person like me, then you have to stop me from throwing my fire at you. And before he could enter that hall, where Mahavir was giving his sermon, Mahavir had warned his disciples not to react to that person. He said, this person is going to come. He's going to use that siddhi. It's called as tejoleshya. Tejoleshya means using fire to burn someone. That siddhi is there. So he's going to unleash that to me. Nothing will happen to me, but you guys should not react. Even in spite of that, two of the disciples got angry. They said, how dare you speak like this about our Guruji? And the moment this other person, he heard this, his name is Goshalak. He was also a very famous person, but now his clan is not there anymore. So when he heard this, he first unleashed that Tejolesha on those two disciples, and they burnt to ashes in front of Mahavir. Now, Mahavir did not react to that. He was just silent. He knew that all this is karmic. And then when he did not react, this person became even more angry. And then he unleashed that fire on Mahavir himself. This fire did not harm him because being an enlightened soul, these things don't work at that level. So it just circled him and he went back. It went back and it hit the person who brought that fire, who unleashed that fire. The reason I'm saying this is because intention is much more important than anything else. When Guruji said intention is there to help, let it flow freely. Let us not be judgmental about it. That is what Mahavir was saying. Don't judge him just because he's going to throw this fire at us. Don't judge him, he's good or bad. Let him unleash that karma. He has to undergo it. Let him undergo it. But you don't perpetrate it. You don't be the cause for it. So when we say that a curse comes out of a person who is afflicted, that curse is just a catalyst. But what happens in motion is the karma of that intention. The intention has provided the fuel for the karma to be generated and to be acted in the system. This entire universe works on the system or matrix of karma. You, as a person who has free will, has the most freedom to actually work out your karma here. Now, when you're going to use your ego for good, it becomes good karma. You use your ego for bad, it becomes bad karma. As such, karma is karma, whether you do it with intention or not. So when you're helping a prisoner, if he deserves help, if he's got the good karma, he will get our help. There we should not be judging, should I help him? He's a prisoner. We have the stigma of helping prisoners. We think all prisoners are bad. But how sure are you that that person was actually committing the crime? He could have been framed. And that is what most of the movies inspire us.
Yeah, framing up is very easy these days because the one who's very rich and he has committed the the crime,
Yes.
he always manages to set up the police, and the police will just put a false case and do all.
We hear all
there is a
sorts of
possibility.
stories.
Yes.
Yeah, so we cannot be the judge, right? Our thing is to help or to help someone who is in distress, and let us do it without any judgment from our side. The karma will take care. Our act of kindness, a random act of kindness, will take care of itself. Whether you help someone who is in need or who is not in need, that is not our criteria. Of course, if it's in need, and if we see if there is a cause for that, if they say that there is a reason for the system to work itself out, and then to find out whether he's guilty or not, we leave it to the system. Once again,
Mayur from Japan, anything you want to say? Thank you, Kishore ji, for that information that you gave. Okay.
Thank you, Guruji, for the opportunity.
Yeah. So always whenever, Mahavir, a symbol of peace and knowledge, when I refer to such great Mahans like the Buddha, these are great motivation for all of us. Okay. So if you notice that he said the same thing that I said in the beginning. So when people say the same thing, then it must be the truth. Right? A lie, they'll all be different, but the truth will always be one. Just one answer. What did he say? Intention. That propels karma. Only intention propels karma. What is your intention? In the political world, people give things to the poor guys, and what they expect in return is the vote, right? They want the votes from them, so they give. Such kind of giving is not useful. Not useful in the sense that it doesn't increase your good karma. Whereas the person who receives the money, that's true, right? At least he gets the money. That's all right. Okay. Chitra has a very nice point. I think we should be careful in choosing repeat offenders or habitual offenders and help release them in the society. Yes, obviously, right? So habitual criminals, most probably they may not change. But then we will leave that, because these are very, this must be very small percentage of whoever we might meet in future. Okay, so we will take it like 95% of the time it will all be good. Okay, whatever we do, most of the time. 5% error, yes, there is a possibility that we may end up supporting the helping the bad guy. But even then, we still feel like it's a scorpion and the sadhu story. So we will continue to help. Exactly. Okay. I think we had a very good, healthy discussion, and I must thank the good souls that joined, and lot of you many of you participated, gave valid points. So thanks to Anjali and Sri Sami from Australia, Kishorji from Chennai, chess coach Sai Prahlad, of course, and VK Varman. So many other people, right? If I missed out, and there are a lot of information on chat. When I do the video, I'll copy paste the chat. So,
Guruji,
yes.
Today we needed your discourse. Hence, me and Varmanji had that, and we are having your discourse.
No, it is sometimes, it automatically happens. Some of these big things, it just, it just happened that that particular time I was free. I didn't have a consultation. Normally, I always have consultations at 1 o'clock. But today
Yes.
I was destined to speak. Okay, that's why all this happened. But
And so lucky for me, I
okay.
never get to participate in any of
Oh, yeah.
your
You are
sessions.
ahead of us. Yeah, time zone.
Yeah,
Time
this is
zone
the first
problem.
time.
Okay.
This is the first time I'm actually participating from the beginning. Thank you for that.
Okay. I'll try to incorporate more meetings, maybe Sunday mornings, so that people from Australia like you can also participate. We'll try to do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, Guru.
Thank you.
Yeah. We have lot more information. Please, keep coming back, because without you, the meeting doesn't happen also, right? Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
you,
you, Guruji. Thank you.